So to start, I just want to mention that there should be a splash shield right over there under the engine. Mine is missing, so all I have is this front one. Either way, for you, you want to start by removing that one. That way you can get access to removing this one over here. So having said that, let's remove this one. There should be push clips at the front. Mine's missing the push clips also, so all I have is some screws over here. Take those out. Last one. Looking from behind the radiator, from under the car, you can see the radiator drain plug right here. With a flathead screwdriver, let's loosen this up. You don't want to take it all the way out. All you want to do is loosen it so the coolant can drain through this little petcock here, and otherwise if you take it out, it'll shoot straight out the back. At this point, let's lower the car and we'll open the radiator cap up there, or I guess the overflow cap. That way air will go in as coolant comes out and it'll drain much faster. Take the cap off of your overflow tank. That will allow it to vent. As you can hear, coolant's already coming out much faster. I'm going to start by removing this overflow tank. There you go. Sometimes you can help it along with a screwdriver. And then on the back side, it has the same thing. And sometimes you need to give it a little pry with the screwdriver. Ignore that, that's supposed to be disconnected. Now, set this aside. Now I'm going to disconnect this engine mount and take it out just to give me more access to this area. I'm going to start with the two side bolts that are 15 millimeter in size. And before I take these out, I'm going to support the engine at the bottom. There's one. There's two. Take these out. And I'm going to put some support under the engine and then take these two 18 millimeter nuts off. With a floor jack and a little rubber pad or a wooden block, I'm going to raise the engine up just a tiny bit. That tells me that it's supported by the floor jack, not on the engine mount. Now with an 18 millimeter socket, remove these two nuts. There's one. Oh, the stud came with it. That's fine. We'll fix that later. Remove the engine mount. That gives us a lot more access to the water pump. Now we have to break free these three bolts. They're pretty tight, and this pulley is probably going to slip on the belt. So what I have here is my 3/8 air ratchet, which I'm going to use to hopefully break these free. Not the best tool for breaking things free, but hopefully it works out this time. Yep, that's one. Now that this one's broken free, what I'm going to do is just spin the pulley, get to the next one. Once I have the next one up here, I'll break this one free as well. If you can find out a different way to hold this pulley or the belt, then do whatever you have to do, but these have to get broken free. Okay, that's the second one. Last one. There we go, they're all broken free. Now we can remove the belt. Up here at the tensioner, use a 13 millimeter wrench, release tension off the belt and slide it off. Let go of the tensioner and move the belt to the side, or even remove it. That way it's completely out of your way and it's not going to get any coolant on it once the water pump does come off. Let's finish removing these three bolts. Pulley comes right off. Now your water pump is held on by three 8 millimeter bolts, two of which you can see right here, and the other one is kind of underneath here, but we'll break the top ones free first. Again, 8 millimeter socket. There's one. I'm not going to remove them yet. I'm just going to break them free. I do have a collection bucket underneath because coolant will start coming out once the water pump starts separating. I'm going to take out this bottom one completely, and then the side one, then I'll leave the top one in for last. There's one. Okay, now with this top one being the last one in, I'll back it out a few turns and then break free the water pump. Looks like it's pretty stuck on here, so let's pry it gently, of course. Okay, let's use a rubber mallet. Give it a few taps, hopefully break that free. Let's do some more prying. Well, it's wiggling for sure, but it's kind of stubborn, so we'll just keep tapping it. So this water pump isn't really coming out for me, mostly because I believe that it's corroded right along here into the engine block and it's just stuck. Nothing else is holding it on, and it's wiggling, but it's not coming out. So what I'm going to do is take out this tensioner. That way I can get access to pry this top mounting point here. And the tensioner is held on with two 10mm bolts. There's one at the top right here. Okay, and then there's one underneath it, right about here, basically straight under the pulley. If you follow it, you'll see the 10mm bolt. So break both of those free, take them out, and then we'll take the tensioner off. Okay, set that aside. Now we can pry up here, hopefully. Maybe give it a little bit more play in it. Yep, there we go. It's coming out a little easier now. Try not to pry on plastic things. Work it back and forth. There's progress. Oh. Oh. There it is. Okay, so it was the O-ring. Oh, and there's the coolant. Oh, I see what happened. So, this O-ring, well, first of all, here's your water pump. This O-ring is so swollen that it's now way bigger than the water pump, and it was just completely jammed in there. So it wasn't corrosion, it was just a swollen O-ring. Here's your old water pump. Let's clean up this area a little bit and install the new one. So I'm going to use a little pad to soak up the remaining coolant in there. That way I can clean up the area without coolant dripping out on me or on everything else. That looks pretty good. So now I'm going to take a rag and just wipe off the area where the O-ring sits. And of course, if you have corrosion for some reason, you want to clean that up, sand it, make sure it doesn't go inside the engine, of course. And wipe off the outer edge here where the water pump sits on. That way it can mount nice and flush. That looks pretty good. So let's get the new water pump. Take your new O-ring and let's install it on the water pump. You can put a little bit of silicone paste on it or coolant if you want. That way it doesn't go and dry and it slips on to where it needs to on the water pump, but also on the engine. So there you go. That's how it's supposed to fit, not like ½ an inch wider. Anyway, now that this is on, make sure it's lined up the right way. So it's got a mounting ear that's shorter, and then two longer ones. The two longer ones go at the top and on the side. The shorter one goes on the bottom. So slide the water pump into position, line it up with the bolt holes, press it on, should go on way easier than coming off. And now, put in the bolts. Start them in by hand. Of course, you don't want to cross thread these. And the bottom one. Where is it? Okay, let's start these on and bottom them out, and then we'll come back and torque them. There's one. There's two. Doesn't really matter which order you do them in. Okay, that's snug. I can't really torque that one, even if I wanted to, so I'm just going to tighten that one right now, because I can't get my torque wrench in there. Then I'll come back and torque these two. 89 inch-pounds for this. And basically what that converts to is 7.4 foot-pounds, or if you don't have a torque wrench that goes that low, just make it snug with a 1/4 inch ratchet. That should be good. Let's clean up the area here to make sure we have no coolant dripping down still. Clean up the pulleys and everything in this area here. You don't want coolant residue after you did the job, otherwise you don't know if there's a potential leak or not. Let's put the pulley on next. Line up the 3 bolt holes, start in the bolts. Let's snug them up. Okay, we'll leave that like that. Let's put the tensioner on. Line up the tensioner. I'm going to start in this bottom bolt first. All right, and this top one. Snug it up. Let me just double check it by hand. That way I make sure it actually is nice and tight. Okay. Perfect. Let's put the belt back on, make sure it's still sitting properly on the harmonic balancer, which it is. I'm going to bring it down underneath the alternator next. Make sure it's sitting in the grooves there. And then right after the AC, I'm going to put it underneath the water pump, but also over the tensioner first. I lost my 13. There it is. Take your 13mm wrench. Relieve tension. Push it over the water pump. Let go. And now let's double check it and make sure it's actually sitting flush everywhere where it needs to. The tensioner is seated perfectly. Water pump is seated. The belt, alternator is seated, and on the crank pulley it's seated. Of course, after we turn on the engine and run it for a couple seconds, I'm going to come back and double check it. But for now, it's good. I'm going to grab my 13 wrench and just put a little bit of extra tension on the belt, just so I can take my 10mm wrench and just snug up these bolts here. They don't have to be crazy tight, but if you just make them nice and snug, that should be just fine. Perfect. And the reason I put extra tension is obviously so that that doesn't spin. Let's put the engine mount back in, line it up on the engine side first, and I had one stud that stayed in, one that came out. That's fine. Let's snug this up. $59 foot-pounds for these 2 nuts. That's 1 and 2. Now we can drop the engine down to where it lines up with the bolt holes on the frame. Move it this way a little bit. Slowly lower it. And looks like it pretty much falls right into place right there. Perfect. Let's put in the 2 bolts. snug them up, and then torque these to 66 foot-pounds. That's one. And two. Put the overflow tank back, make sure it lines up with both of these securing tabs here. I'll put it on the back first and on the front. Tap it down into place, unscrew your cap. Now let's fill the cooling system. I'm just going to put a funnel in here, that way I don't spill everywhere, and fill it with the manufacturer's recommended coolant. I'm going to fill it up until it stops bubbling and the cooling system stops taking in coolant. Then we'll turn on the engine, let it run, and circulate the coolant and push out all the air. Okay, that's up to the top almost, so let's turn on the engine at this point, let it warm up and bubble up all the excess air in the system. Let's turn on the car at this point. Perfect, and I'm going to turn the heat all the way up. I want full heat, and the blower on low is fine. And I'm going to actually put it to blow on the dash vents, that way I can feel the heat on my hand. And it's important to actually also have the AC off. You don't want AC, you want just heat on the dash. And then as the car is running, you want to pay attention to that temperature gauge and make sure it doesn't go all the way to the hot range. That means it's overheating, so in that case, shut it off. It's probably just an air bubble, and then restart it. But once it stops right about there at the middle mark, you should be good to go. Shut the car off, and then we'll top it off if necessary. Okay, let's shut it off. Now let's reinstall the radiator cap. Of course, before you do this, make sure it's filled to the proper level, which mine actually is perfect. Of course, I'm going to double check it later once I get some miles on it. Tighten it up all the way, make sure it clicks and then stops. Let's reinstall this splash shield. Tuck it up into the bumper here. Just like that. Let's reattach it with all the screws. I'm going to start over here. That way it holds it on this side. Now I can let go, put all the other screws in. And another one over here. And then there were two on each side. Whatever you have holding this splash shield up, go ahead and put it on. And of course, I'm missing my other splash shield, which covers the rest of the engine. But if you have that, put that one on as well. I'm going to tighten up all these screws. Perfect.